Hey guys, I'm going to use a simple mixed media technique, something a bit different, and maybe if you've seen in the close-ups before you click to watch this video, you might be like, where is the watercolor markers from Vicky Buden being used on this layout? Because it's a very subtle process. So I've got these 3 photos. I really like this pattern paper. It just went really nice with the tones of my shirt and the curtains in the background. So I'm just pulling out a couple of stencils from my magnificently organized stencils there, but I do decide on the circles just because the crosses were a bit overwhelming. I wanted something subtle. I'm just going to pull out some texture paste, and I've got the Cotton Candy watercolor marker here, just a little dab there, and you can see the color coming together with the texture paste, smushing it around. Now, it wasn't the right tone that I wanted. I was going for something that more the tone that's in the pattern paper, so I bring in a dab of that coral macaroon, and that does the job for me. Now I have way too much texture paste on my mat. It doesn't look like much, but texture paste goes a long way. Plus, I'm using the smallest dots ever stencil, so of course it doesn't need very much, but that's okay. I do add it to a couple of an art journal page, and also a spare paper, and also a piece of cardstock that I'm layering that with different pieces for a project, different mixed medias. So I'm just adding across here so that it covers to the left and the right of where the photos are, and up and down a little bit without it being blocky. So it's sort of like actually a love heart shape without it being purposeful. So now I'm going to use that tulle. So while it was drying, I thought, oh, that pink tulle would be the perfect time to use that. So I'm going to cut it down, cut it in half, and then I'm going to work out how I can secure it so that it has texture behind without it being overwhelming and not being like coming undone or anything. So I'm going to cut the pieces, and I'm going to layer them up so that it looks like there's many pieces of tulle. Instead, there was just one piece of tulle, and now it looks like there's about 5 or 6 layers. So that's always fun. Just working out how long I need my tulle to be, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher to stick it, squish it up, and it's going to hold it. So just making sure it was about 9 inches that I wanted, a little bit from each side of the photo, and that you can see how fun that's looking. So just making sure it's the way I want it, and that looks really cool. So I did use my heat gun on the texture paste a little, so it's not fully 100% dry, but it's probably, a good 70% because it's so small and thin, and I use my heat gun. I'm just going to work out some pattern paper for behind my photos, and I realize this yellow pattern paper is perfect. It matches the background nicely, but not like matchy at the same time, and that's going to be what I layer my photos on. And then I found this mixed media pink as well, so that's going to be my 2 photo layers. So on they go. Now these photos, I couldn't even tell you what size they were. They're probably maybe like 1 3/4 by 2.5 or something. If you really want to know, let me know and I will measure them for you. But it's just one of those, when you press print on a photo or a JPEG, it comes up with those options of like a full photo, 2 photos to a page, that kind of thing. It was just one of those settings. So just going to stick it down to my pattern paper. I'm not using fun foam. It's just going to go straight to the layers, and that is just going to be fun. I'm going to rip this one. Remember, if you want the white edge on your ripped paper, hold the item with your left hand down, and then rip the paper with your right hand up towards you, and that will give you the ripped edge. Do it away from you if you don't want the ripped white edge. So I played with having the doily. Oh, excuse me, big yawn. But ultimately it doesn't stay there. And then I was looking through the pieces of ephemera and I found these fake washi strips that are from the printables and this Love Heart strip that is also from the printables that I'm going to add to my layout. And I'm just trying to work out what kind of embellishments I want and how that's going to look. So just having a little play with the embellishments, the ephemera that's in the kit, to see what's going to work for me. I really like this canvas tag with all the stamped kind of looking images on it with the writing and whatnot. It's really nice. And again with the bird. They're just really beautiful, these birds. So I'm trying to get them on every layout. Now I found this tag that says let the good times roll. Yeah, roll. And it's in, like the letters are embossed, so they are sticking up. It's really fun, but the colours are the exact same as the paper. And I'm going to pull out this little pocket page card that got in the printables, and I'm going to end up using it to make another tag for some layering. Now I figured I could start a little cluster down here, and this could be the title and the main cluster, and then the photo could be up the top here, and that could just be the way it happens. But as always, my pages evolve as I'm creating, and it totally becomes something different. Now I just realised I'm just trying to have a play with where I want these washi strips, if I want them directly behind the photo or I want them behind the tulle flat to the paper. So first I'm going to add fishtail banner, and then realise I only want one fishtail with the fishtail banner and one with straight, otherwise it looked a bit like too matchy. So going to stick them on. They're going to go under the tulle, I've decided. So on they go. 1 and 2. That means I just have the third one left, which is a like a wood background, and I'm going to stick on my tulle. Now it won't stick with wet glue, so I'm going to use my tiny attacher, but I don't have a long arm tiny attacher, so I undid it, and then I'm just going to push it down into the middle of my page and turn the page over and fold down the stapled edges so that it is secure. And voila! On it goes. Part of that needed to be cut down a little. It just was overhanging too much. And you can see the mixed media stenciling in the background is getting covered up. But I just wanted it as a subtle touch. So when you first look at a layout like this, you probably won't see it. But then when you spend a few more moments looking, you will see the texture that's gone to the background. And how that just adds a little bit of fun and delight and finishes it off. So here I am just using that tag as a template. And I'm going to cut that down, add the tag hole, and that's looking really fun there. I'm going to use just some natural colour twine to make make them tags by having twine in them. And I'm going to thread them differently. So one I just thread through one side, like one piece, and then tied a knot, and then the other one I doubled up, put the loop in, like the middle of the string through, and then put the end of the string through that loop. So here's where I realized I could bring that canvas tag in and lift the tags all together and be a cluster of 3 tags to have a lot of fun. Now I'm just thinking I should have probably cut that canvas tag down a little so that I could use the bottom half on something else. But nonetheless, we buy products to use them, so I should just be happy that I used it. As beautiful as it is, it's on a layout that I can look at, rather than it being hidden in my stash where I probably would not see it. And even if I did, I'd see it in a little while and go, oh, I love that, but I just can't use it now because it's not my style anymore, or it doesn't go with my new things, or there's always something. So it's best to use it while you love it. I'm going to fussy cut out this strip of hearts, add some glue, some double-sided tape, and it just is something up the top there, just a little touch. And then I'm going to finish my page with some embellishments. So I pull out this, what is it, a butterfly, and then I found these leaves and flowers, and the colours and just the style is just beautiful. So I take off that butterfly and put 2 of them on instead, and I just really like that. Pulling out some of these crosses, they're just going to work really nicely there. And then I'm just trying to find all the things. I love heart, a maroon one. And what else can I find in my ephemera? There is so much in the top tray of my really useful box at the moment that is easy to find something. But it's making sure it's the right thing, like making, that fear of, oh, there must be something better. Sometimes there's not something better. Sometimes it's just the thing that's the best right now, and to use it. Just using my black pen to add a doodly border, and again with my banners, adding doodly border around there, and then I'll add a doodly border to that tag that I made, just to give it some definition around its edge, and adding a staple to that tiny word and love heart. So this is where I figure I'm finished. I'm going to add my enamel dots. I'm going to use that tag that says "Let the Good Times Roll" as my title. And I look and find a paper clip, and I really like the way that looks, and I want to bring in some more of that gold. So using those thickers here, because the writing's in gold, I'm going to spell out XOXO, and that just fills that little spot that's on the tag here. Now, because it is canvas, it needs to be glued down. So I'm gluing down the crosses as well as the letters, just making sure they're in the spot that I want them so that it looks right. And then I'm just going to see if there's any more gold. So I add in this gold cross, and then I find a gold heart and put it up the top there, and it's gold on gold and then pink on pink. So I'm swap one of the crosses over with one of the others so that the pink and the gold are spread out a bit more, just to make sure that it just wasn't too much all in one section for me. And this is looking really good. Now, just to finish it off, I thought, I could add some, there's a big gap there between the tags and the photo, and if I could be bothered, I would get out my typewriter, but actually I think this worked really well. So I pulled out some more of that pink paper, and I'm cutting some strips, and I'm going to write on them. So it's just like writing using the typewriter. I figure I'm going to write them down, stick them down the bottom here, but I add 2 up the top, because then putting them all down the bottom made the top look empty. So 2 up the top and then the rest down the bottom, and then it left a spot down the bottom here, which instead I put the wood veneer, which looks really nice because we have that wood veneer kind of tone in the thread of the tag. So it worked out really, really well. Make sure that you're enjoying having fun being creative, that you take some risk and just go with the flow, and hope that you have an awesome, awesome day creating. Anyway, bye guys. Have a good day.